had many questions about my second video I've done, my HIV symptoms, pre-diagnosis. At that time I didn't know much about lighting and audio, so here's a little setup that I have going on now today. I had questions like, how long did it take for me to feel the effects? How long did the symptoms last for? How extreme were my night sweats? What was vertigo like? How long did I wait to get tested after exposure? So it was about 2 weeks after exposure I started to feel the symptoms of HIV. By the end of the third week I got blood work done. There were 6 main symptoms that I had, starting with extreme fatigue, loss of appetite, fever, night sweats, rashes on my upper torso, and extreme diarrhea. Each has gotten progressively worse. To answer the night sweat question, as I said, my symptoms got worse and worse, so my night sweats did too, and I'd end up soaking my bed, and I'd roll over to the other side and then end up soaking that side. And then I'd have to get up in the middle of the night and change my sheets. You can imagine it was a terrible thing to have to do, trying to fight this thing that I didn't even know what I had, and having to do that with being extremely tired. After receiving antibiotics by the third week, I started to feel better. Most of those things went away, except for I did have some night sweats, but not nearly as bad. And I started to develop vertigo. Now, I remember being at the specialist, and I was on the patient's bed, and I went to get up, and I alarmed her because I almost fell on the floor out of dizziness. Now, these dizzy spells would last about 30 seconds each time, on whether I go to pick something up off the floor, if I moved too quickly, or just simply getting out of bed. My specialist told me it is likely that it's the virus that's causing the vertigo. And after I started taking the HIV medication, thankfully the vertigo went away and it's never came back. I did answer most of the questions and comments on my second video as best as I could. There's a couple here I want to address. One individual told me that he had unprotected sex in the day after he had some flu-like symptoms. Well, this is impossible to get symptoms a day after being exposed to HIV. He did tell me, yes, that he went to see the doctor and he told me it was just the flu. I want to stress that not everyone gets symptoms at all, and you could be unknowingly spreading the virus to others. So that's why I always stress, get tested. Now this one, another person told me that he had an unprotected oral with a hooker, and he was worried that he could be possibly exposed to the virus. At first I thought, wow, is this guy for real? But everyone's different. So, well, there's no way you can get HIV from that. Maybe an STI from skin-to-skin contact. Before I go, I want to mention a couple things, a couple of stories that I didn't get in on my last video, HIV and mental health. I received a message from a guy recently that he told me he's never been in a relationship before in his life, and he feels that he's been rejected by all of the gay community. And he said if he got HIV that he wouldn't take medication and just let himself die of AIDS. And honestly, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That is a horrific death. I tried to be positive with him and saying, being single can be very empowering. It sounds like he has depression, though. I tried it in my best way to comment back in a healthy, positive way. Take care, buddy. Lastly, this guy I read about, he, on a long weekend, decided to go on a drinking bender on his own and then took a handful of HIV medication at once. That landed him in the emergency room and he nearly lost his life. That is a sure cry for help. Remember, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Please get help. I hope this helps someone out there, and please like and subscribe if you like this video, and if you want to see more, tap that notification bell. Until next time, Michael K here. Take care, everyone.